We have just started the year of the metal ox, and I'm going to give you a unique map for 2021 and beyond and explain exactly why I mean that this is a year to get it right. My name is Nicholas Haines, and this work is based on my 40 years practicing or teaching Oriental medicine and over 50,000 one-on-one consultations, plus a lifetime of studying patterns and human nature. I had some very early trauma when I was about 5 years old. It turned me into a very anxious teenager, and that carried on until I went to America in my 20s and discovered Chinese medicine. And at that particular stage, it was like I had a download. I could see the matrix and I could see the patterns and why things happen. And for the last 40 years, I have been exploring that, teaching that, sharing that all around the world. So today, what are we going to cover? We're going to break this down into 3 parts for you. First of all, we're going to set the scene. If you're not familiar with Chinese astrology, don't worry, I've got that covered for you. Part 2, we're going to look and understand the energy of now, what's actually going on at the moment. Then part 3, I'm going to give you 3 guiding principles for 2021, keeping it nice and simple, but very, very powerful. So this work is based on ancient Chinese wisdom, and they spent thousands and thousands of years exploring flow and time to understand the world and came up with a system, the Chinese Zodiac, which consists of 12 animals. So each year is related to one of these animals, but it's also related to one of the 5 elements, one of the 5 energies, which basically means that each year occurs once every 60 years. So the last time we were in a metal ox year was in 1961. Each year has a theme, a flow to it, an undercurrent, a vibration, a particular quality to that year. And each block of 12 years has a theme, a flow, an undercurrent, and a vibration to it as well. Now, we have just entered a block of time dominated by metal energy. I'm going to explain what that means, but it started out in 2020 with a metal energy year. This year is 2021 is another metal energy year. So that's kind of like the opening chapters. It kind of tells us that we're meant to be doing something. And then at the end of the 12 years, there are another 2 metal energy years. It's like an exam. It kind of explores, tells you what to do. So we have just entered a metal energy block of time. Very, very important. I'll explain what that means for you. Now, just because this is the same as 1961, it doesn't mean we're going to have exactly the same time. Although the year has the same vibration, context matters. In 1961, they had come out of 2 world wars, whereas we've had other stuff going on. So in 1961, it was about peace and love, and this aspect around the beginning of the kind of civil rights movement. Now, 2021, this time in our evolution, we've got something different. We've got a big planetary stuff going on. We've got the environment, but we've also seen incredible division, and we've seen a reawakening of the civil rights movement in a way that we haven't seen it happen since the 1960s. And that is absolutely no coincidence. Now, this year that has this particular vibration that we're in at the moment will vibrate with you. So it's a bit like you hit a tuning fork. It has a certain tone, a certain vibration, and another tuning fork exactly the same will start to vibrate along with it. It's the same as when a lorry goes past your house. It rattles your window. It's the vibration of the lorry's engine vibrates with the actual window itself because there is a harmony. So these years that win will vibrate with you. They will interact with your stars, east and west, with the numerology, with the essence of who you are, with your parental influence, and the very nature of who you are as a human being. Now, you might start to think this is kind of really complicated. So we've got a year with a certain energy, a block of time, but then I've got all these aspects around me, my east, west stars, my numerology, my essence of who I am, my parental influence. How on earth can I make sense of this year for me? I've got a very simple way to do that, and it's called the vitality test. The vitality test profile that you get in a way is like an amalgam of your east, your west stars, your numerology, essence of who you are, and also it contains everything that you need to do to fulfill the promise that you made when you came to Earth, and some challenges along the way. So I like to look at these years in terms of your vitality test profile, rather than saying, well, I'm a Leo, or I'm a water dragon, or I'm a this, or I'm a that, or I'm a number 5. Just look at it in terms of your vitality test profile, because that is the essence of who you are and contains everything you need to fulfill this promise. Now, when you take the vitality test profile, It will give you a relationship of these 5 energies. And where you have your dominant, strongest energies, that tends to be our focus and our way of seeing the world. And that matters. So the way we see the world will be the way that we will interpret what's actually going on. Whereas the energies where we are low, that tends to be where we have our blind spots or lack of focus. And blind spots matter. So I think it's really important to see and know where our focus is and where our blind spots are. If you haven't taken the Vitality Test profile, just go to 5institute.com. It's completely free and it's there for you. Okay, part 2. Let's look at understanding the energy of now. Now, why is this important? Well, it's a bit like it's a weather forecast. If it's a rainy day, you kind of don't want to have a picnic. If you say, look, it's going to be sunny, you might want to go to the beach. So it really, really matters. And it also matters to know the energy, because within each year, there are traps. There are things that can get you. So the more you understand the energy of now, you can plan, you can work things out, and you can avoid the traps. They're easy to avoid once you understand them. So the year we're in, we are in a metal ox year, metal energy, ox combined. But let's keep it simple for you and break it down. We're going to first of all look at the metal energy. Remember, metal energy year and a metal energy time. So this is quite influential. And we're going to break it down into 4 main themes. Every energy is related to a particular season, and metal energy is related to autumn, to fall. And basically things end, they disconnect. There is a finishing of things. Now, if you've taken the vitality test, you'll know that every energy gives you a big question, a question that you're constantly asking throughout your life. And the big question for metal energy is, what's missing, what isn't done? So collectively, we're having a sense of what's missing, what isn't done. This energy is giving us that feeling, regardless of your vitality test profile. So there's going to be a searching for what's missing or incomplete. Metal energy is also about, gives us a desire for simplicity and perfection. And you may have had a sense that actually, I want to live things in a more simple life. I want to have things clean. I want to have less of things. To clear. Maybe you felt your home was just overwhelmed with clutter, and at the beginning of 2020 you just needed to clear things, to get rid of things. Whether or not it was full, it gave you that sense that there was too much. Also, that desire for simplicity tends to lead us to a sense of very black and white thinking. This is good, this is bad. These are like this, they're like that. Democrats, Republicans, this very black and white box-based thinking. If you want to understand more about that, I co-founded with Runas Magnusdóttir something called the No More Boxes movement. It is the antidote to division and black and white thinking, and it explains how we can put each other into boxes. So we have a book, we have a content for you, support you in that area. But basically, this metal energy year, this metal energy block of time will tend to lead to simplistic black and white thinking. And we have seen that. What else does it lead to? Well, metal energy, autumn, fall, it's about disconnection, it's about letting go. So I said at the beginning of 2020, there would be something around letting go, loss, disconnection. Didn't know what it was, but it was going to be a big theme. And my goodness, we saw that. So there is, within this year, there is a sense of letting go, loss, and disconnection. And that could be grief, but it could also be other things that we let go of. How incredible was it in 2020? We could let go of all the different things that we thought were important. And actually, we started to see something different, because that then leads to the final part of metal energy. It's the ability to assess value and to eliminate waste and say, actually, no, I'm not going to waste my time with this. I don't want to have that. It's wasting my time. This is what's important to me. And my God, in 2020, we really got to sense what was important to us. And that will continue in 2020, because we have another metal energy year and we're still in this metal energy block of time. So this is a time to work out what it is that we value, but also to recognize your value. And maybe you saw some hints for that. Okay, let's look at the ox. Done metal energy. Other half of the year is the ox. So by nature, these animals are very consistent, plodding, hard-working. That's the energy of them. It's also a very kind of disciplined, staying on track, steady approach. Now, discipline can be an interesting word. You can think discipline from the outside, or it could be that this is the year to develop more personal and self-discipline, to stay on track and to have a steady approach, to consistently plod and do the hard work. Oxes are also very conservative and traditional by nature. That's what they are. So we've got these 3 things, but then we've got something else within this year. I think of this as one of the traps. Ox's bulls can charge and rampage and lock horns. That can be. So this is the ox. We've got metal energy, ox. Now, context matters. So we have quite a steady conservative year ahead. Traditional values, plodding, plowing, getting on with stuff. Bit of a danger around the rampaging, but basically on context, it would seem it's going to be a very, very steady, ploddy year. However, we have some massive things going on. Context matters. Now, as well as these very short yearly cycles or 12-year blocks of time or 60-year blocks of time, we also have some incredibly slow-moving cycles of time that operate over hundreds and thousands of years. And three of them are geopolitics, consumerism, and spirituality. And each one of those is currently trying to move into a different energy, trying to do a shift. Now, I have tracked back through history. I have never seen a time where we are having our politics is trying to change, our way of spending is trying to change, and our spiritual awakening is trying to change at exactly the same time within this thing. So this turns it into a little bit of a topsy-turvy year. I cover all this, I have a masterclass all about this, exploring the depth of it. So context matters. We've got these big changes happening within geopolitics, spirituality, and how we consume and how we buy. And we also have something really important heading our way. 2024. Now, I don't normally talk about any years ahead. I've been running these webinars for 10 plus years. I don't normally talk about years ahead, but this really matters because 2024 is a wood dragon year. Now, you'll notice each of these animals, they're very earthy, pigs and dogs and monkeys, etc. And then we have a dragon, an outlier. And basically, the Chinese consider that dragons are divine. They bring messages from the heavens down to earth. So in 2024, we will get messages. Now, and the messages are related to the elements. So what's wood energy about? It's about new, it's about innovation, it's about disruption, it's about things fresh. It's related to spring. It's like a new beginning. So what we have here is we have a very traditional year of 2021 with the traditional conservative ox meeting and coming into contact with an incredible year, 2024, when we'll see a big shift. So 2021 has a challenge because it is literally the old meeting the new. It is the year in which we will see the biggest expression of that, with this traditional ox energy meeting this very new energy coming in, this divine energy that's going to be giving a whole lot of new things within the context of changing geopolitics, spirituality, consumerism. It's a lot of stuff going on. So the old is meeting the new within this context. So we could see a clash between those, or that characteristic trap of this ox, these things locking horns, getting stuck in together. Because it's tough, because, you know, sometimes we kind of want to hold on to the old. We want to do it because it makes it feel secure, or it's the known. It's a tough time. Plus, we've got this going on for us as well. We're in this metal energy year in a block of time. And that gives us, metal energy is about disconnection ending, and it gives us this enormous sense that something is missing. So we're trying to let go of the old and the new, but at the same time, this is inherent sense. I'm not sure what it is, but something is missing. Something is being taken from me. Something is no longer there. Perhaps there's secrets. There are things I don't know. I need to search for what's missing. And we then move into this down the rabbit hole to explore. There's something missing. I definitely feel it. And because if we look for something that's missing, when we can start to find all sorts of things, whether they're true or not. And we also have a sense that something is being taken from us. We don't know what it is. We just know in our bones something is taken from us, because that's what the energy makes us feel. And we had a sense that things were being stolen from us. And we saw certain parts of the community buy into that message because they bought into the energy of this particular year. They were also sitting that we were damaged to a certain extent by 2020, a metal rat year. Metal rat years are the fastest years within the 60 year cycle. There was no faster year. And it also went from the slowest year. The earth pig year is the slowest year in the cycle. The metal rat year is the fastest year in the 60-year cycle. The contrast was immense. And we just didn't have time to breathe, to think as one thing hit us after the other, with this loss, this change, this disruption. and this sense that something was being stolen or taken or missing. And when rats get under pressure, when they get backed into a corner, they see viciousness. So we have the context of seeing lots of viciousness because people felt backed into a corner as something with, and black and white thinking, etc. It was all there. But we also saw something else. We saw breathtaking kindness. Because rats, by their very nature, are the kindest animals within the 60-year cycle. If anyone has owned a rat, they are beautiful, kind, lovely creatures, unless they get backed into a corner with the sense that things are being taken, they're not missing, or they're being trapped, and then they can turn nasty. But on balance, we saw incredible kindness. We saw communities coming together to help through COVID. We saw our health workers. We saw breathtaking kindness as people came together and supported each other. And we saw the other stuff too. So context matters. So what is 2021 going to be like? That's kind of why you're watching this video. Well, it depends. It has two possibilities of a stormy time or a sunny time. There are two possibilities. But for you, it really depends upon what you choose to look at, what you choose to see, whether or not you have the ability to step back and see the big picture. And that's what we're trying to do with the 5 Institute. What we're trying to do with these videos is get people to see the big picture and not get trapped into their energy-based view of the world or the traps that are there, to pull back and see the big picture. So this year can be utterly magnificent. And here are some guidelines, 3 guiding principles to help you make this a fantastic year, because it has everything in it to be wonderful. So here are the 3 guiding principles. First one, just keep it steady. Use that ox energy to keep it steady, plod, plow along, just do your work. If you think about oxes, their very nature, they plod along, they do the work, they prepare the soil, they plow, they sure, as they're plowing and doing that stuff and walking, they turn things up. Stuff comes up from the surface, and that could be a trigger for you. But they basically prepare the ground beautifully for planting, for clearing, for getting rid of old things. And they work hard and they are steady. They also work at their very best when they are together. So this is a year for you to come together, to heal, to support each other, to perhaps find someone different to work with, but just to pair up or come together in communities. That's what the nature of this year can do for you. If you want some help with that, the Vitality Test is a great way for us to understand each other, to understand the challenges we have and our strengths and our weaknesses and what matters. Now, last year, I wrote a book, The Art of Kind and Flowing Relationships, a practical guide to deal with your differences and create happy relationships that last. I have a gift for you. Chapter 5, it has the secret of living with each energy. Just follow that URL, and I'll also put a link below this video. And by the way, if you're enjoying this video, hit that subscribe button, bing that bell. We can get this word out there, share this information, share the video. Let's make this a better world. Okay, guiding principle number 2. So first one, just keep it steady, plod, plow along. Great time for preparing things. Release the old and be open to the new. Really important. There is no better time than this year for you to let go of old stuff. We're in a metal energy year, metal energy block of time. You've had a bit of an experience with it. This is the best time in the 60-year cycle for you to let go of limiting beliefs, of perceptions, of old stories. This is a time for you to let go of them and fly. And do not think, you say, well, I've tried over the last 10 years to let go of these stories and this stuff. You have never tried in a metal ox year. Take a steady approach, work hard. And in terms of this traditional conservative thing, actually say to yourself, you know what? I like these traditions. I like these things. Invoke some discipline. Use the metal ox energy. Use the energy of the ox to be steady, but use the metal energy to release your stories. You can fly. And my goodness, this world needs you to be at your very best and to release these stories. So I ask you, what are you going to let go of? What have you been letting go of? There is no better time to do this. So grasp hold of it. Let go of anything that you perceive or a story or anything that isn't serving you. And we need to do that across society as well. And in terms of the new, let's just kind of be open. Let's just be curious. Let's just be playful. Remember, metal energy is about perfection. So don't get caught into that trap that you see something new starting and you think, well, that's not very perfect. That's not very thing. It all seems very complicated. And this desire for simplicity and perfection is a trap. As something new happens, it will arrive in an imperfect form. Just be curious and open. Don't cut it down because it was imperfect. All it was doing was growing. So as we see the new things arrive, just explore them, be curious, be open, and ultimately be kind. Be kind to yourself and others, because whatever we do now, we are planting for the future. So your kindness, your acts, you're looking after yourself, your discipline, you're plodding, you're having fun, you're growing, whatever it is that matters to you, you're letting go, will be the seeds that you will plant for your future. And it is the future that we are planting for humanity. You have been born at this moment in time with these massive changes happen. And you have, I think we have a responsibility to plant the seeds for future generations. And we have a choice as to what we plant and how we want to be. We could just decide to lock horns and just have it fighting it out with this black and white thinking and this and that, and this is bad. This could happen. And it could be certain things that it's like a bull in a bull ring, just poked and stabbed until you just see a red flag and you just have to charge and charge because you're being poked and aggravated. But it's a game. It's just an energy. Just keep it steady. Plod along. Use that, just embrace, let go of things. Just if we see this going on in the world, just it will happen. It doesn't mean we have to follow the red flags. It doesn't mean we have to lock horns. It means understanding us sharing this information at the Five Institute is for us to be able to step above and out of it, which is metal energy is brilliant at doing, and just see what it is we're going to do and plant the seeds. And ultimately, just choose kindness. This is a really important time to do that. So I hope you found this helpful. If you would like more content on it, like I say, we've got the Mighty Metal Ox Masterclass where we've got nearly 5 hours of it. We also have this Vital Life monthly membership. And in that, every single month, I give the members and it's something called energy waves. I say, okay, this month, this is the energy of this month. This is what you need to look out for. These are the things. So equivalent of this year, but I split it into each month. And because Five Institute, this stuff really matters to us. At the Five Institute, we're all about internal and external cultures. How you live with yourself and how we live together. That's what is important. And that's what is important to try and get right. How you live with yourself and how we live together. That's what we're being asked to try and get right at this time. And we can do it through kindness. So I hope you found this helpful. If you have, please share the video. Visit Five Institute, fiveinstitute.com. Anything towards me, any emails, nick@fiveinstitute.com. I will answer them. Take good care. Thank you so much for watching. Much love. Bless. Bye for now. And have a wonderful year.